little bit more in depth. So there were differences among Greek city-states as well. Despite the fact that they had a similar language and religion, the Greek polis were very different from each other, especially how they were governed. So some city-states had a monarchy, which is a government ruled by a king. So take a minute to write down the characteristics of a monarchy in your note catcher box. It's a state ruled by a king. The rule is hereditary. In other words, you had to be the son of the king in order to gain the right to rule when the king died. And some rulers claim something called divine right. Now, write down this definition because we're going to hear this throughout our world history lessons. Divine right means the monarch legitimizes or says that his rule is true because he claims he is appointed by a god or the gods. So take a minute to pause the video and write down these characteristics. The next different type of government in the polises was called an aristocracy. And that means a government ruled by elite or wealthy nobles. And again, here are the characteristics of an aristocracy. Please write these down in the box in your note catcher. It's a state ruled by nobility. Rule is hereditary, based on, again, on family ties, social rank, wealth. Usually aristocrats were very wealthy. And the social status and the wealth support their authority. The rich people get to rule. Pause the video and write these characteristics down. The next type of government in the polis was what Sparta, which is another famous Greek polis, used to rule. It's called an oligarchy, and that's a government ruled by a small group of citizens. Again, write these characteristics down. State ruled by a small group of citizens. The rule is based on wealth or ability. All right, so how smart they were or how creative. This ruling group also controls the military. And again, Sparta is the most famous example of an oligarchy among the Greek city-states. And last but not least, some polis, like Athens, had what's called a direct democracy. You may have studied this in government last year. It's a government ruled by citizens who vote on decisions directly. They don't vote through representatives like we do because it is a direct democracy. And again, write down these characteristics. It's a state ruled by its own citizens. Rule is based on whether you're a citizen or not. So based on citizenship, the majority of people decide the vote. And again, this was practiced in Athens by about 500 BC. Next, we'll talk about the culture and social and gender